Hello students, this is the fifth lecture of our second chapter, that is Principles of Management, and we are going to continue our administrative principles of management. Right, in the previous lecture we have completed the first 7 principles of management, right? And as I said that Fayol, what he said these all principles, they are what? They are the directive principles. It is going to help in the administration of the management, right? So continuing with the previous lecture, the eighth principle of management, principles, administration management, right? That is centralization. Okay. Now understand what is centralization. Centralization, that means power, that all the authority to take decision in a single hand. That is called as what? That is called as a centralization. Right? That means there will be no any kind of delegation of authority will be there. That means no distribution of power. We have already understood the meaning of delegation of authority, right, in the first chapter and in the second principle of management. That is, when you have large size of a business, right, there will be what? There will be a difficulty in what? In maintaining or having a supervision over the employees, over the activities of the business, right? So there will be what? There will be delegation of authority will be there. That is distribution of power. But Fayol, what he suggested? He suggested that when powers they are not delegated, obviously that is called as a centralization. And Fayol suggested that when you need to what? You need to use the maximum, the strength of the employee. Centralization is the best way to take the maximum work from the employee, right? It will create a sense of responsibility in the mind of whom? In the mind of the employee. Okay, when employee is going to handle each and every activity, when he is going to take the decision regarding the business activity, obviously there will be what? There will be the success ratio, that the that development, core development of the employee strength, it will be there, right? But this principle of centralization, it has what? It is a very low success ratio in the giant size of business unit. That means when it comes to large scale, obviously the principle of centralization, it is not going to work. Okay, see, that we have already seen in the first chapter of our OCM, that is when delegation of authority will be there, when distribution of power will be there, various levels of management it will be created, right? The top level management, they are going to what? They are going to assign, they are going to distribute some sort of authority in the middle level of management. That is the production manager, purchase manager, marketing manager, sales manager. Okay, what they are going to do? They have that authority respect to their department. That whatever the decisions that they are going to take, it will limited up to what? It will limited up to their department only. But they have what? They have that full right of to take action against any employee, to take any decision regarding what? Regarding the betterment of their department, right? Because it becomes difficult for the top level management, and whether they should what? They should focus on their prime objective, or or they are going to observe the various activities that are going to be implemented, or that are going to be conducted in what? That are going to be conducted in the company or a business, right? And as I said, that we have seen in the concept that principles of management, they are flexible, right? So it depends on whom? It depends on the sense of the management, that whether they are going to opt for the centralization or whether they are going to go for decentralization, right? Just underline this thin line difference between centralization and decentralization. That is, centralization means power in only one hand. People, they are not going to delegate that authority amongst the various person, right? Decentralization, that means that there will be what? There will be distribution of power is there, right? That various people, they are going to what? They are going to assign some sort of roles, some sort of authority, and some sort of responsibility. Okay, right? And the applicability of this principle, that completely depends on what? That completely depends on the size of the business unit, right? If it is a small scale business, centralization will be applicable. When it comes to large scale, obviously principle of decentralization will be applicable. Okay, then next, that is scalar chain. Understand this thing. What is scalar chain? Principle of scalar chain, right? I just want you guys to recall the diagram of a levels of management. That is top level management. It includes what? It includes that board of directors, CEO, general manager. Then in the middle level of management, that various officers or departmental heads are there, like production, purchase, and that marketing, sales, or finance, or whatever. And then comes the bottom level, supervisor, choppers, and a foreman. Okay, right? So what principle of scalar chain suggests? That is, it emphasizes the chain that is from top to middle, middle to bottom. That means whatever the flow of instruction will be there, whatever the orders that will be given, that will flow from what? That will flow from top to middle, middle to bottom. There will be no gap between there, right? That means what? That means what? Okay, suppose for an example, I am a superior, right? And six number of people, they are working under me, but on a different or on a different project, right? But I am the single head, right? I am the superior, and my subordinate, they are working under me. They want to communicate with each other. So what this principle suggests? This principle suggests that whatever the communication, it will be there. It will what? It will first go to me, and then I will what? Then I will suggest to the other person, or I will instruct the other person. Right? Like it will be like this, that person A, B, and C, D, E, and F. Right? If a person, that is person A, want to communicate with person D, then the boss, me, I must be informed. That is, person A will inform me first, and then he will communicate with the person D. Right? That means the superior must be aware whatever the communication that is going to be there in the team. Right? And in simple terms or in a general terms, that is what? That flow of instruction, that will be from top to middle and middle to bottom. This chain must be maintained, right? And the reporting system, that feedback, that whatever the orders that has been given, instructions that has been given, whether they have been implemented or not, that will go reverse, that is bottom to middle, middle to top. Okay, getting my point, right? And this chain of power, right, that is from higher administrative officer to bottom level, that must not be broken, right? See, why Fayol has suggested this thing? Because if superior, they are taking all these things in their hand, whatever the communication, it will be there, whatever the conversation between the employees will be there, everything will be under what? Under the observation, under the supervision of the superiors, right? So the picture will be clear, that yes, whatever the things that are happening, the person, the superior, must be having that awareness regarding the task, regarding the work. Okay, getting my point, right? And as a result, obviously, the chain occurs, that is called as a scalar chain, right? That is like top, middle, bottom, bottom, middle, top. Okay, right? This chain should not or must not be broken. If this chain has been broken, obviously, that is, suppose for an example, right, like a top level management person, they are directly communicating with the bottom one, and middle level, they are not informed, right? And same way, that middle level management, they are also planning something, or they have planned something, and they have entered into that particular supervisor's cabin, and they are instructing them, but they come to know, okay, yeah, that top level management person like CEO has already given that orders, right? So duplication of work will be there, and ultimately it will create what? It will create the confusion in the mind of the bottom level person, that whether I should go for what, whether I should go to follow the instruction of the top level or middle level, right? So this scalar chain, it is what? It is in the that support of the principle like unity of command, right? That one boss, one employee. Okay, right? Then next is order. This is in the terms of that, that arrangements in the business or in the company or in the layout, right? Like everything should be at its proper place, right? And when it comes to place, it will be for the raw material and the manpower. Everything must be have what? Must be have a fixed place. Okay, suppose for an example, if I'm entering into the company, I must be having that fixed place, okay, where I should go and work. Material, they must be available at a particular one specific place. If it is not there, then obviously it will going to impact the image of the company badly. Okay, getting the point, right? And mainly it has what, it has that particular, two components in the order, that is raw material arrangement and a social arrangement. Raw material, that means what, that is about material. Social arrangement, that means about the manpower, human resource, right? I must be having a fixed place in the company. Then whenever I'm going to enter in the company, I will be having what, I will be having that specific knowledge, idea, okay, yes, I'm going to go and I'm going to sit at the particular place and I'm going to start my work, right? If frequently the place is changing, right, ultimately what it will create, or it will create the confusion in the mind of the, right? Let's suppose today you are going to sit in the 12 commas E1, tomorrow 12 commas E2, then again the floor is changing. Obviously, when you are going to go into your daily classes are changing, then obviously what is going to happen? It will create ultimate confusion. It will create chaos in the mind of whom? In the mind of the students. And same way, if this thing is happening into the corporate level, in the business, it will create what? It will create the chaos in the mind of whom? In the mind of the employees, right? Each and every part of the raw material, they must be at the appropriate place, right? Why this thing is necessary? This thing is necessary for what purpose? For the quickly assembling of the particular production process, right? If it is there, if it is maintained at a particular specific place, fixed place, then workers, they know where they should go if they are running out of the raw material. Getting my point, right? And skilled employee must be at the right place, right? Thinking about the position, and then it comes to what? It comes to a skilled person. Okay, suppose I have a skill in the production department, then I must be employed in the skilled person, that is in the production department, not in the marketing or a sales department. Okay, getting my point, right? So when it comes to what, when it comes to the skilled person, that management must be having that much of a knowledge. Okay, yes, this person, that suppose for example me, that Ankur is what, Ankur is having a, that skill in teaching the OCM subject, and he must be getting that OCM subject, not the accountancy or the statistics, right? I will not be able to give you the 100%, but here I can give you 100%. That is what, that is a social arrangement. That is what, that is skilled person. They are what, they are employed at at a place where they can what, they can give their maximum capacity. So job satisfaction, that is going to increase. Okay, right? Then next, that is equality. That the superior must consider each and every employee as equal. No biasness, no prejudice, right? Like for me, each and every student, they are what, they are equal, right? I should be, when I will be teaching, right, each and every student, they are equal. There is no any kind of prejudice, there is no any kind of biasness will be there, right? As a superior, this is the responsibility, this is a moral responsibility. So Fayol has included this thing into what, this thing into the principles of management, that each and every superior, they should behave appropriately and uniformly with taking work from the workers, whether they are skilled worker or unskilled workers, whether the behavior is changing from person to person, but the superior must take the work from what, from the employees or the workers uniformly. There should no biasness, no any kind of prejudice, or no any kind of that, that feeling of revenge. Yes, this person is there, this disobeyed me, so I will going to get that particular punishment and etc. Right? This thing not be there. Okay, right? And the effort must be made for what purpose? For establishing the equality, right? Equality, not as per the traditional way, not as per the formal way, but on the basis of informal way. Now what is informal way? That means that informal way, they are what, informal relation, they are based on what, they are based on the human relation, right? If suppose, if some of the employees, they are not working properly, then instead of getting that particular punishment, make them understand, right? By informal way, talk to them, convince them, okay, yes, if you are going to do the work properly, then you can what, you can achieve the target, right? In informal way, not as a form, not as a boss, not as a superior, but as a friend, as a colleague, as a co-worker, as a motivator. right? Ultimately this will boost the morale of those employees, okay, those who are not working properly, right? And equality must be there, okay, as a superior, that I'm considering my team as a part of my family, and I'm giving the equal importance to each and every person, those who are what, those who are employed under me, right? A manager should take these things seriously, right? They need to what, they need to give their best, they need to give their 100%, and it can be done by the informal way. That means informal relation must be established, and those informal relations, they are established on the basis of what, on the basis of the human relation, on the basis of the human behavior, okay, right? And and when this behavior of employee, they are what is the base of the human behavior, that is faithfulness, attitude, uniformity, and justice, right? That justice is equal for everyone, behavior is equal for everyone, right? Ultimately it will what, it will create the trustworthiness amongst whom, amongst the workers, can know that our superior is equal for everyone. They are going, that a superior is taking a decision for what purpose, is taking a decision for us, right? On an equal note, not any kind, no any kind of biasness, partiality is not there, okay, right? So principle of equality, what it says, that superior must consider each and every person as equal. Equality, it will be what, it will be established with the informal relation, not as per the traditional way, that is like giving a punishment and etc, okay, right? Then 12, that is stability of a personal tenure, okay. Connect this principle with that remuneration of a personnel, right? As I said, as we have discussed in that principle, that when the proper wages, proper salary that employees are getting, workers are getting, so obviously they are going to stay for a longer period of time, and when they are going to stay for a longer period of time, obviously the labor turnover, it is going to decrease, right? So stability of a personal tenure, once the person is entering into the company, that person must stay for a longer period of time, and when he is going to stay for a longer period of time, obviously given they are going to get a proper salary, when they are going to get a proper conducive environment for what, for the working, the working atmosphere must be created like that, that person, what that person get satisfaction and stay for a longer period of time. Now why Fayol has emphasized more on this principle, what is the necessity, okay, why that a single person, a single employee must stay for a longer period of time? Please, permanent and stable staff, they are the what, they are the asset of any business unit. Let's see, one word is missing, that is permanent and stable employee. They are the what, employees, they are the asset of the business unit, right? And why it is called as a, that particular as a asset of a business unit, because the employee is going to develop himself by remaining to what, by remaining to one unit, right? And they are going to contribute towards the achievement of the goals in the business unit for a long period of time, right? If I'm doing a same thing repeatedly, right, then what I'm going to do, I'm going to achieve that particular mastery, right? I will be aware with that the environment of that environment of a business, right? I will be knowing everything, what is the place of this thing, where will the raw material will be placed, how to behave with the co-workers, how I can be what, how I can be getting the maximum output from a simple terms, right? Getting my point, right? And when that employees, they are going to stay for a longer period of time, obviously that his knowledge or her knowledge is going to what is that it will what, it will create that more productivity, right? For whom, for the company, and ultimately the labor turnover rate, that is going to what, that is going to decrease. See, when the personnel, when an employee, they are going to stay for a longer period of time in the company, ultimately it will increase the credit worthiness of the business or credit worthiness of the company, okay, yeah, this person is working from a long period like 5 to 10 years, right? Then yes, why, see, if I am an employee, I am working into the organization, I am working for last 5 to 10 years, right? Then why I will be working for this much long? Obviously that my everything, that my wages, that is my salary, it has been satisfied, that working atmosphere, it has been satisfied, I am able to what, I am able to contribute towards the development of the business, growth of the business, and productivity is increasing, obviously then and then only I will be staying for this much long, And when I'm happy with my job, when I'm happy with my company, I'm going to go out in the market and telling, yes, my company is good, right? That is what it is called as a publicity of the company. When I'm happy with my job, I'm going to go out and say, yes, everything is good in my company. So ultimately, it will create a creditworthiness. Yes, the company, so and so company is what is maintaining their human resource, maintaining their manpower for a longer period of time. And when this thing will be there, obviously productivity that is going to increase. Of whom? Of the employee. Labor turnover rate that is going to decrease. Okay, right? Then initiative. Initiative, that means that opportunity. For what? Opportunity to do something new. See, uh, when you go to any specific company or to bank or to hospitals, right, there is a suggestion box will be there, or a complaint box. Why these suggestions are invited from the particular group of people? Same thing will be what? Same thing will be there from the workers, for the employees. Okay, if they found any new technique, okay, which will what? Which will help ultimate the company that in the cost cutting. Okay, right? So that equal opportunity will be provided. Okay, yes, a small person who is working at the bottom level of management as a worker, if he has that knowledge, if he has that skill, then that skill must be represented by that person to middle level or the top level of management. That atmosphere must be created, right? So for that purpose, they will be what? They will be demanding. They will be demanding what? They will be demanding, or they will be asking for the suggestions from whom? From the workers. And the best suitable solution, that will be what? That will be implemented. So that is what? That is the proper equal opportunity that is given. If suppose a person is coming into the bottom level of management as a worker, right? But he has that skill of what? Of doing a job as a middle level, as a particular manager, as an officer. Then that person must be got that opportunity, right? Okay, that atmosphere must be there. Okay, initiation, that must be what? That must be encouraged. If initiation is not encouraged, then obviously what is going to happen? Simple, that there will be no any kind of productivity is going to increase. No worker should be feel that encouraged. Okay, yes, we should go and tell the management, okay, by this way we can what? We can reduce the cost and we can increase the production, right? If each and everything they are discouraged, right? But industrialists must have that particular atmosphere which will encourage the initiative, right? Of whom? Of the employees, of the workers, right? And what is the main benefit of initiative? That is the strength of what? The strength of the independent working that is going to develop, right? And most important, the leadership quality that is going to what? That is going to increase, right? That I have worked for the that BPO, that is business process outsourcing, as we have seen in the 11th standard, right? In that, that a common person, that a simple who is working at the bottom level, right? They were being given that opportunity of working as a team leader, that a particular member from the team leader, right? That person is given as an acting team leader. Now what is acting team leader? Okay, that person will be assigned the role of a team leader for the 3 months, and his performance will be analyzed. If that person has proved successful team leader, whatever the target that has been given, it has been achieved, then what will be there? Simple, that person will be what? That person will be appointed as a team leader. So what is it? That is the initiative, that environment that has been given. Okay, yes, the person is entered as a particular group member of that particular team, and once he has got an opportunity of being a team leader, it will be what? It will be posted, or it will be given that appointment as what? As a team leader. So this environment should be encouraged, right? So that skill can develop, a person can what? That personality development will always be there, right? And last principle, that is aspirative corps, feeling of oneness. This principle we can what? We can compare with that mental revolution. Okay, right? That must be what? That must be a mutual relation between owners and the employees, right? That owners and employees, they will be what? They will be uh, that managers, they should consider as workers or that employees as a what? As a part of a family, not as only the workers, right? They will be considered as what? They will be considered as a part of the family, and harmonious relationship must be created between whom? Between that owners and the employees, right? So that the goal achievement, that become what? That become very easy. Okay, getting my point, right? And that feeling of oneness, okay, yes, we all are as what? We all are a team. We are working as a team. So the business objective must be achieved by the collective efforts of everyone, whether it is a top, whether it is a middle, whether it is a bottom level of management. Okay, getting my point. So the success of any business, that depends on what? It depends on the mutual relation, mutual understanding between whom? Between owners and the employees, right? So these are the 14 principles, right? That has been what? That has been given by Henry Fayol. These principles, they are not the final list of the principle. If the management guru, they come into particular this era, and if they found as new principle must be added to the list, they can. Okay, right? So this principle, they are what? They are flexible, and this list is not final, right? So if you have any doubt, let me know. In the next lecture, we are going to continue with the other topic of the same chapter. Okay, thank you.